How would they feel about the changes of our land? Why would you just imagine if they were around and it's our concrete jungle and highways on sacred ground? How would they feel about the disrespect of ancient lands? Wanna know, tears will come from each other's eyes and they will stop to realize that's how the people are in great danger now. Tell me what would they say? How would they feel? Will the smiles be content? Will the cry for the pains that they have seen? Now cry for our God, cry for our people, cry for our lands that was taken away. And then yet you find hope for evening. How would you feel about the changes of our land? Why would you just imagine if he came back and I saw traffic lights and the railroad tracks? How would you feel about the disrespect of ancient lands? Well, no. Tears will come from each other's eyes and they will stop to realize that's how the people are in great danger now. Tell me what would they say? How would he feel? Would his smiles be content with the cry for the pain that he has seen? Now cry for our God, cry for our people, cry for our lands that was taken away. And then yet you find hope for evening.
Aloha kako, hau'oli, la kuokoa, kako. Let's get it. Haleo ke ave, maui nui a kama, moloka i a hina, mano kalani po, kaku i hewa, kohava i pai aina, hau'oli, la kuokoa. 2 days weather for today. Moko ke ave, your north high is 82. Your low 76, your east is 81, your lows is 86, your south is 84, and your lows is 80, and your west topping out at 90, and your lows out for the west is 81. Your He'enalu, your north facing shores, 3 with occasional 4, as long as your north wrapping down to your east is 2 to 3, your south is a 1 to 2, and your west with a small 1 to 2. So advisory out there, moko ke ave, ohana, your north and east facing shores. If you are not a professional he'enalu or do not know what you're doing, please be careful. Your waves are interesting and for the good ones today on La Kuokoa. Olelo no e ao today. Homework.
Yo, aloha mai kako, aloha kakahiaka e ko Hawaii pai aina. And before we get there, let's just take it back a sec. La 46,702. Yeah, so the infamous illegal overthrow that happened 46,702 days ago. or 127 years, 10 months, 1 week, 1,535 months, 1 week, or 6,672 weeks of illegal prolonged occupation by the U.S. military and all of its different collaborators. Yeah, and the infamous day, we start there in terms of acknowledging the injustice that we live and deal with today. But also, we starting there because we got to go back a little bit deeper into time today, right? 177 years ago, right? 177 years ago, we had La Kuokoa. So today's Olelo no Ea of the day is actually not from Merikavena Puku Ispuke, but from our Mo'i himself, Kauikeaoli, Kamehameha III. Shout out to all the Ohanas out there, the Kamehameha heirs, the Ohanas of Kamehameha who still exist, who still have their claims. Woo! We acknowledge you guys as well. It's not just about our national sovereignty, but the genealogy from whence we come, right? So anyway, hauoli la ku'oko'a, ua mau ke ea o ka aina I ka pono, as we know the motto of Kauikeaoli, or that was spoken on this day 177 years ago, or that is associated with this day. Obviously, because this is the day when we were recognized by other countries of the world via the Anglo-Saxon proclamation. You know the WASP words, kind of hard tongue twister.
You know that colonizing tongue twisting?
Colonizer words. Anyway, so that's why we stick to our olelo, la ku'oko'a, right? When these guys finally actually put it together and realized, wow, these Kanakas is ahead of the game. And they acknowledged us, they recognized us as an independent nation state, the first family of nations, non-European nation to join the family of nations, to become recognized, and setting all kinds of precedents, I believe, for world politics, for international law, international relations, right? Where other countries after us, were able to join in a similar fashion, right? So of course we revolutionized the game. The Renaissance men of the world, Kanaka, come home. Today is your day to celebrate our independence. And there's a long history there we got to look at. The main thing is we don't get confused with what the fake state of Hawaii puts out there and their propaganda as well, right? How they try to adopt our models or misappropriate it really and throw it through the meat grinder to get everyone confused and revise our history, right? So this symbol is symbolic of that fraud, right? They remix all our different components unlawfully. They usurped all of these things from us, and we know the history, so we take it back to the OGs. Nana Ike Kumu, yeah, our great seal, our great motto, Ua mau ke eo ka aina I ka pono, the life of the land is perpetuated in righteousness. So when the other nations of the world, the lawbreakers, the oath breakers, the ones who broke their contract with Akua, even though they carried a cross on their chest, yeah, when those ones can get back to pono, right, so can our relations, so can the recognition of this great model. And that's just a little bit of a little touch, right? As we know, there's a lot of different characters in this. So you see Kauikeaoli here. We see our great seal, of course, Kasila Nui, the coat of arms actually, and then I think that's George Simpson in the bottom corner. Yeah, shout out to homework. Some of the allies who help us along the way become recognized, and the diplomacy that it takes, and really this guy right here, Timoteo Ha'alilio, and we're lucky today. Not only to sing praises of his name, Timoteo Ha'alilio, and his ohana and his sacrifice for Allahui. He literally went out there and got the recognition that we needed and gave his life for it, right? Returned home with that. And so we honor this Kanaka, his ohana, And
Okay.
we might have a little bit of a direct connection coming in, giving us a little bit of getting us connected to this great Hawaiian patriot, Timoteo Ha'alilio. There's a lot of awesome resources out there you can check out. Avaya Ulu, Antikau Isai, and all those different, academics and historians who are starting to share this story, share the details, and really give us an in-depth look at what happened during this transformational time for our kingdom, for the Hawaiian Kingdom. And so anyway, we'll bring them back home to Moku Okeawe, right?
So let's go.
And all the way to the west side, along the great trail of our kupuna, along the path of Keala Kekua into the house of Keawe, Aleo Keawe. And we have one of Keawe's own native sons, right, along the line with us, gonna get connected. Who we got, Caps? Who we got
So,
over there?
okay, Kako. Aloha, Kako. We back at it today. And so, we're blessed today to get connected with our cousin Ma'ele, who lives in Kukuiopai area that has a long lineage tie to the house of Keawe. And the reason why today is so important is not only on La Kuokoa, but the journey and the path a lot of family members take. And not too many people have been able to get to the point where everybody needs to be. And that's home, taking care of the Iwi. And so Ma'ele, the house of Ma'ele, Helu 1975, Kukui Opai, one of the heirs, Joshua, cousin Josh. Aloha, cousin Josh, Ka'ale. So
Aloha.
today, on the dark side of
Aloha.
Hawaiian politics, today we wanted to just start off the section with our Get Connected segment, which directly ties us to today. Kukui Opai, your tutu man Ma'ele, and the kupuna Iwi that you now malama and take care of now along with your fam. So, without further ado, cousin Ka'ale, Dark Side of Hawaiian Politics, inspire us today on this La Kuokoa 2020.
Yes.
Yes,
Cousin,
sir.
let's go.
Kuokoa.
How old is La Kuokoa?
Yes, sir. Aloha kako, everybody. I appreciate you guys giving me this little platform for Talk Story and calling me up.
This is
as you know
important. This
already-
is important. This is important.
Yes. Very important. This is,
The burials,
Yes.
the burials out in Kukuiopai,
yes,
right?
yes. As you know, that's the key for me, this is just a reflection, me telling my story, this is just a reflection of the journey that I've had to take. And
Yes.
really the base that I've learned through this whole thing is it's important that our mu'okua is important, and knowing who we are is how you gonna know where you are from. And
Yes.
and then what's important is that you, in the end, you gotta not in the end, in the beginning.
Yes.
It's a crazy merry-go-round, but it's not, in a sense. If you think about it, we have to give to them,
To receive.
We're their legacy, in a sense. So we have to continue, along, and we have to malama them. They're the ones that's fertilizing the lepo ahead of us, And first and foremost, when we go home, it's important that we go home and take care of them first. That has to be the number one priority.
Hey, oh, there it is.
It cannot be a possession type of thing for me, because my family, as far as, aloha out there to all my family members
Yes.
who may be listening to this. You guys, I'm on Facebook. Josh Kaale Pajimola. You guys will find me. We're distant cousins. We're all lineal heirs to Ma'ele. I just recently been recognized by the state and the Hawaii Island Burial Council as lineal and cultural descendant of Kukuiopai. And I take it as an honor, but it's not something. It's not my own personal. It's not a privilege that. It's something that my whole family should share. It's not when
Yes.
This has to be for everybody.
This the call out, cousin.
Yes. It's all because it's all of us, and we have to, first and foremost, we gotta go take care to them. Naiki kupuna is important.
Yes.
Because without them, we wouldn't have us. And we like our kiki, our mopuna. In the end, we can freaking fertilize the dirt and keep the lepo good for them so they can grow and nurture and have one base point, one sense of identity in all the change that's going on with today. That's really the key, is our sense of identity and the true history of this Aina. And it's our families, and I really I've tried my best to encourage a lot of my friends. It's a lot. You have to really dedicate yourself to it. It's not a 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You got to go all in.
Yeah.
And
all in.
you have to know who you are, and start off by talking to your ohana. Talk to the kupunas. They're still here. They're the stories.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones who are going to give you the knowledge and lead you along the way.
Yes.
Other than that, there are other tools out there as far as through the internet. There's
Uncle
information out there
Kiamoku
to be had.
Kapu, right? Uncle
Yes.
Kiamoku Kapu. Couple of the burial help that you was getting us
cousin-
through.
Speaking of Tutuman Kiave, cousin Noe,
Yes.
and she's still over there on Maui too, doing their thing, protecting the sand dunes over there, and they have it's a constant protection thing. We have to constant, no matter how many times we have to
And
constantly
cousin-
be polite and ask again for stuff over and over again, but persistence, my man. Persistence
Yes.
is
No-
constant persistence and dedication, due diligence.
And not only that too, cousin. When you did your journey, right? When you was doing your journey, your spiritual journey, your growth journey, then you come to find out that those kupuna that you were there going to protect, you are actually going back to protect Timoteo Haililio's ohana too on
Aye.
Kukuyo Opai. And that's what
Yes.
we wanted to share today too, was your journey leads you back to La Kuokoa. Yeah, cousin? It goes
Aye.
straight back, and I'm proud to know and be part of your ohana. And this Get Connected session was meant to highlight the significance of taking care of your kupuna, not knowing that when you go back home, you will find many more kupuna, ali'i kupuna, waiting to be taken care of.
Aye.
And so, hey, cousin, thank you for joining us for the Get Connected session.
Can you share a little bit, can you share a little bit about that, about Ha'alilio's connection with that Aina down there? Maybe, what you've uncovered
Or your family
along
shared,
your path home,
Well, the significance, you guys already know Halilio is a very important historical figure in our history.
Yeah.
But their family married into my grandfather J.W. Ma'ele's family,
Right.
and they homesteaded and raised their family. Their family is right there in Kukuyo Pai. Still get the old platform is still sitting there, but no, the significance behind that is just the fact that he helps to it's a story that has been hidden like these.
Right.
It's stories that have been hidden that really kind of are the basis of our history.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's been clouded with the new development and just
Right.
I call it the new millennium. They're trying to fast track and take the Aina real fast, and
Yes, cousin. Yes, you got to take your time,
Kalamai.
right? No.
But yeah, as you well know too, as far as the significance of La Kuokoa, this whole thing it was inspired at La Kuokoa.
Yeah.
A couple years ago when the initial journey went start. Kepo is familiar with my journey
There you
as
go.
far as where that thing went start,
And it started on La Kuokoa.
yeah,
It started La Kuokoa.
and to where we are today, and
Kanaka come home.
I cannot stress enough. It's you have to. It's hard work, and it's not going to just come real quick. I don't want to discourage anybody out there listening. It gotta be done. Somebody has to take the reins from your family. Everybody has to be on it eventually, but somebody has to lead the way.
Yes.
And remembrance is the most important thing. We keep our family's name alive, the legacy. Say your grandparents' names.
So,
Say
cousin,
them out loud.
cousin,
You know?
you're totally right, cousin. And this is how we're going to wrap up this session. Give us a little mokuauhau from JW down to you. And this is how we're going to wrap up Helu 1975 Kukui Opai.
Then Kona
I give you one small hanauna.
Yes, one small one.
You let me say them?
No, no, no,
Little
just
Hawaii
no, no,
style?
no, 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 no. Just say, your connection. If you feel like just the importance to JW to you, right? Because JW is your.
JW, my LA is my
Yes.
great
Yes.
grandfather.
Yes. And that's why you're there.
His son Kikiona my LA,
Yes.
my great grandfather.
Yes.
His daughter, my grandma Rebecca my LA.
Aye.
Akamu
Aye.
is that's my great grandma.
Aye.
My grandma Margaret Akamu, my LA, that's my grandmother. And
Yes.
she married Paji Mola.
Yes.
And I see related,
And this is
anybody
you.
out there. She said, you guys know the names. Reach out
Yes,
to me.
that's why I wanted you to say it, cousin.
Please reach out. No, yes. This is awesome. You guys giving me this for reach out to my family.
Yo.
Yes.
And we anybody who wants to come out here, we try to. It's not like my own personal privilege. We all should be on the same page over here.
Yo.
If I can help out in any way, and you guys, if I can help to get you guys on the same path where I say, we're gonna do this. We're a big family.
Yeah.
Thousands of us out
And
there.
there you go, Kako, for Darkside of Hawaiian Politics, La Kuokoa, Haoli. This is your Get Connected session with cousin Maele, Helu1975. If you heard the names of the roll call, please call him up. And if you guys didn't, you wait for the rerun, and you guys are going to hear your name on the retrack.
Right.
Cousin, we love you. Haoli La Kuokoa. And let's get connected again. Okay, cuz?
Chia, mahalo.
Love you, cousin.
Love you, brothers. Aloha.
Aloha. All right. There we
Boom.
go.
No. Boom, Kako. So, there you guys have it. Whew. That was that was supposed to be for the back half, but because of the significance of the stories of the roll call,
We had to throw it on.
we had to
first.
put him first.
Priorities.
Priorities
Right? There's priorities for this.
So, Kako.
That was pretty awesome. It's like Ola Naivi, right? The bones, the ancestors speak through us, through the great works that we do. When we follow that path home, they show us more and more what our kuleana is. So
He gave you guys a roll call, Kako. That was your ohana, yes? Pajimola, Akamu, Maele, yeah? There's many more, but reach out to cousin.
and maybe you have a parcel around Kukui Opai, around Konahema.
But-
and you guys can help each other get home.
But
Right?
if this is your ohana, today is your kahea to you. Kukuyo Pai heirs Ha'alilio Ohana, the legacy of the discussion today.
Right.
This is what the roll call was for today in your Get Connected session.
We're getting deeper with those connections, brother. We're getting deeper.
So let's
Getting
go.
closer to the
Without
source.
any more further ado,
Yeah, okay, let's chop it up.
let's get this
We got a
knuckleheads.
rapid chop. Who we got first? The boys in blue.
First one up, right? Shopo. Shopo o Hawaii.
Shopo.
Continues statewide police union is now suing all 4 counties in an effort to call the state and their public sector and communities liars, and they don't want to distribute any information that could possibly lead back to any bad words or legacies to the government. And so here you have it, organized gangsters, right? The Shopo unit, right? Because these are the guys that are out there vigilantly trying to not give information out. They're not trying to let the sunshine come in.
Right.
So
These are the dark side riders
these
right here.
are the dark side.
Making sure they covering up the light, cause
So homework, just like any other effort, right? Just like any other effort, you don't have to,
get the putty stick.
Putty.
Yes. Why is it so hard to get accountability from the people who are tasked with serving and protecting our communities? Organized crime is kind of what we've been seeing from the state of Hawaii on so many different levels, and just to see like the tic tac crap that goes on within the state, so that we never progress, we can never have real reform with the counties and within the departments, within these kind of organizations that have long-standing corruption and organized power brokering. So to me, it definitely busts out the Kawila. My great grandfather was a part of organizing some of these these unions that we needed so that we could actually have the power to do the right thing. And to see how far it's fallen off, where these guys are basically covering their okole, and making the state pay for that, for the whole shit show that goes along, when they could easily just do better, hand over the reports, and get real, right? Stop being the police state of Hawaii and start returning back to Hawaiian Kingdom law.
Yeah, kumukana vai. Get back to it.
Get
it's
back
a good start,
to the
man.
source. Shopo.
Next up, we got La'i o Pua. Yeah? La'i the Ma'i. La'i the Ma'i o Pua. Continuing
Never-ending
to
story.
continue to scam the beneficiaries. Yes, we should be putting it up, but not no high rises, and it should be in bigger parcels. I'm sick of seeing short developments squeezing people in chicken coops, because this is what we do not want to see. Homesteading is not chicken coops. We should see every ohana doing aina ho'opula pula. House is a small part, that housing, but the food and the me'ai and the la'au is a big part that makes it a whole.
That's the only way we can sustain it.
Two small parts makes a whole. So we cannot be giving small parcels out without the opportunity to aina ho'opula pula. And so la'i o pua, no aina ho'opula pula, just another chicken coop out in Kona Town. 60 homes, wait list, 30,000. Do the math.
And then how much
Do
you
the
gotta
math.
have? How much you got? How many chips you gotta stack for even get one sniff of this one, right?
These guys continue. The numbers are not even of a rent-to-own option, a unique way to scam beneficiaries to become homeowners, right? With the entry point throughout the affordable rental by your thief chief commission chair, William Bulaya. So these guys are professional crooks who continue to maneuver around the real Aina Ho'opula solution, which we're going to putty on them now, right?
Yes.
But the next one up is how we're going to expose Bill Aimalaya and the state of Hawaii. Homework, what you think about this scam?
Well, I gotta say, I feel bad for the community of La'iopua and all of the Hawaiian homesteaders out there, right? And all the Hawaiians who've been desperately trying to get the department and the state and all the different collaborating agencies to greenlight projects for literally decades. And this is the best that they can come up with, right? Like now they're ready to give the green light when, they're going to lock you in for hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt that they can finance, that they can use to play with money and float it around and save the state's okole from going bankrupt, or whatever it is that they continue to, parade around while the ship is sinking, So, yeah, got to crack the DHHL one more time.
Yep, we got to crack them up.
Another piecemeal, solution or, problem actually disguised as a solution. And the wait list is still just a little bit shorter.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit shorter, and actually it's still a lot harder. We'll do what we gotta do.
Let's get it.
Give them putties.
So get in the putties. You gotta get in these putties, right? Smashing them, we putty them, we giving them everything they want, right?
Some redfish.
So next one up, right, on the chopping block, as always, right? We always try to counter these knuckleheads with what's taking place in reality time, and this is what we see. Kako. So
Kauhale, right? From couple $100,000 down to, what's the price for one of these?
5,000 Laosian.
5,000?
So now we're talking Kako.
I think I can afford
this
that.
This is what we're doing, yeah? We are calling out the Department of Homeless Hawaiians who are sucking people into hundreds of thousands of dollars for a quarter acre or so in small rural areas, when they could actually slap these kauhales up and actually take some of the leverage off of the homestead list and slap them in this kauhale situation. I mean, this just shows me the corruption that continues. See, this rent subsidized. They're talking $200 to $400 per month. Yeah, kako. They're talking about 200, 400 per month. Kauhale. How come you can have a kauhale for any different races, all kinds of races? But when you talk to specifically Hawaiians, you want to scam them for 100,000. This is what we are fighting for on this La Kuokoa. Yeah? Josh Green,
Kauhales.
we've been talking with you, and yet we got you inspired, obviously, to put up these kauhales through our conversations. But what about the Hawaiians kauhale? I think you just took us out of the conversation, because these things should be simultaneously accomplished. If you can do one for another race, you can surely help the host culture. And to me, that's why we bring these issues up, to show the $100,000 to $200,000 scheme that the government promised to scam you with, and then we show what they do for the general public and give them a $200 to $400 deal. I give that a pass for these people who are less fortunate, but I gotta smash that these kauhales are not in their rightful place at the same time.
Well, it's like it could be a solution, but not if it's gonna be used for a scam, right? Even if it's they only getting a couple pennies rather than a couple dollars from you, right? And so I just I see, you see two sides of the spectrum right here. You got La'iopua, they're trying to cram in $100,000 homes into the size of a cookie cutter, and then you got these kauhales, which are like the chicken coops, right? Like you said, you can actually afford them, but they're not being used or applicated in ways that serve these programs that the state is also operating. So it's like one hand knocking malama the other side of the hand, right? They're just shaking each other and jerking each other and continuing the crime and the corruption of the status quo of the state of Hawaii. So again, I see this as a solution that somehow the state is not going to allow to be a solution. You know what I mean? And it's up to us to make sure that we turn these kind of things into solutions, right?
Yes.
Because Hawaiians can actually afford $5,000 for a kauhale.
We can put
And you
family
cannot
members in
raise
there,
your-
and my
you
cousin,
cannot
we
ra-
can get them in there right
but,
now.
But you cannot raise your family in there. But you can start the process.
But I do
You
see
can
the
start
extension.
process.
I see the extension,
Exactly,
right? Boom,
right.
boom, boom.
You can put one safety right
Hey,
there, and then
two
right
rooms,
off
left,
the bat,
right.
it reminds me of Haleoku Hill. You know what I mean? You can do a lot with a little space, just
Oh.
like that.
There's
By
a
the
lot
way,
of it.
DHHL, you still owe us for that last one, right?
Kamara, you too.
And you collaborators, coach.
Yes.
Yeah.
Next up, Kako, we got the kauhale to just wrap it up. Now we just go straight into the COVID freakout, because without the COVID freakout and showing the freakouts, it would never be a fake state issue. But because we always get freakouts, we'll start with the 60K.
Okay, here
We
we go.
start with the 60K, Kako. The 60K.
600,000 cases, right?
No.
Or was that the tickets?
Yes.
Yeah, the citations. So
Citations.
60,000 COVID citations.
Thrown out.
What?
Kako.
How are we gonna make money off that?
So if you
Guys.
if you guys paid attention
What?
to what's going on all around us, right? You will notice that they were actually polluting tickets in the thousands. They were just writing tickets as if they was recycling. Because that's what you see. 60,000 that got away, dismissed, not guilty, jaywalking, whoever from all over, Texas, Alabama, Europe. 60,000 of these immigrants came and gone without even a trial or a chance to even defend himself, because the state knew it was fraudulent, right? So why are they still harassing Hawaiians, trying to go down to get their substance from the vice, trying to go through the kais, and get those substance, and then yet they still need to be masked up, right? Or ticket or cited. But as soon as nowadays, as you're starting to see, they're giving masks out now. The new protocol is giving out masks. So with that being said, that's a nomination for a smash collusion for the solutions that these knuckleheads is doing out here. 60K. I don't know how can you beat that, guys. 60K.
Oh shucks, bro. At least we get one number to start with. But you know,
60K.
that only scratches the surface, if you ask me. 600,000 citations, right, that are getting thrown out. So what did it cost the state, right? What did it cost the taxpayers to have 60,000 tickets even written up?
Right.
How much gas did it take? How many plastic gloves did the police have to use to write it up?
How much violations had?
You know what I mean? How much overtime was collected during that 60,000? Right?
Man.
You know, at the end of the shift, they like give you one ticket so that they can collect a couple hours of the, you know what I mean? So how much really did this shit show cost?
All right.
You know, the economy was shut down during this time. Businesses are shut down. People who are running around trying to do stuff are getting ticketed, right? So that's what the economy was at the time, right? Boys in blue working for the state, giving fake tickets, imaginary tickets on our dime. Right, talk about a wasteful summer, gang.
I just was
that
thinking,
was a wasteful summer. How much Opala, even with all these tourists not here, how much Opala would we create?
I just was thinking of that number. I did a little number homework. They got over $500,000 from ticketing for a 3-month period up on Mauna Kea, which was under 5,000.
Yep.
And so they made around the 500,000 plus to $1 million.
Crazy.
And now you're looking at a 60,000 tickets. They're rich. They're rich.
These guys are
if these
rich,
guys
alright,
could hit us up in
my
Mauna Kea for that small number count, which was at 3 months at what, couple thousands, right? They had reached their quota of the military use and the county use of all of that force that they came with to pay them back, the down payment. And now you're looking at a 60,000 ticket for COVID freakouts.
Yeah.
Wow. I think we can kind of see where the COVID money went. And that's what we see during this
Just to flex their muscle. Yeah, so wasteful. Just to flex their muscle, right? They don't get nothing accomplished. They didn't lift anything up and build anything with that muscle. They just did it to flex their muscle at everybody, right? While the Titanic is sinking. So
And now,
smash those knuckles, guys.
not only smash those knuckles, now we got to get into what we were discussing, the shit show. Now it's going right back into what we was discussing. This is such a crazy /issue at the moment that so the Surgeon General, you guys all know, he was there with his mistress/secretary.
Hey,
And he was there with his
is this him right here?
Yeah, that's him.
Oh.
And so basically, he's out taking a picture, doing what he does, right? On company time, surveying the occupation. And lo and behold, he basically is going to pick up charges for violating his overtime during COVID. So his mistress, his secretary, everybody gets away with a petty misdemeanor flick on the finger. But somehow the head honcho gets investigated for fraudulent COVID-19 overtime.
Wow.
And with that being said, Kako, there's your COVID freak out. If you ever had a freak out, 60K get away, but not Mr. Attorney General, Surgeon, right? The Surgeon General gets popped, and his mistress and his Instagram clicker gets away with it.
Is this what you guys like waking up and reading in the fake state of Hawaii, guys? Is this what makes the coffee go down? You know what I mean? This kind of crap is too much, guys.
Right.
The Alawai is a cesspool, is a freaking sewage system, you know, and they ruin our resources on the daily just for entertainment. It seems like, right? $60,000 to harass, 60,000 tickets to harass people during a pandemic, and
you pick the richest guy that works for your government to go after,
right.
you know, and he came down here for the COVID, and he gets popped for COVID fraud. So we got to keep on putty eye as we get over this COVID.
And the police don't want to talk about, you know, how they're breaking their own laws. Hey, why don't you guys go get these dang criminals, right? Leave the Kanaka alone. Stop harassing the people on the beach. Stop harassing the Kanaka on the street, right? And go after these real criminals that are perpetuating this fraud that constructively destroys the fabric of our society.
Yes.
Pa'is.
Pa'is all around.
Pa'is.
And now, as always, we hate to always talk about this, but this is what we need to do as Makua, as responsible Kanaka, when we see these kind of issues.
We'll go fast through this, guys.
We have to go through it. So, decades
What's the
of
newest?
abuse.
Yep.
Yes. 8 more have arose. Yes. And so, this is a call to all those families out there. Help Malama. Yeah. Help Malama these people. These Ohana during these trying times. Our keikis are our keikis. Regardless if they're adults already and they're makuas. You know, these things we should not stand for, especially using the name Kamehameha as a pitching point is just as sick as using the Boy Scouts to scout out the boys. I mean, these are the epitome of our community that should be strung out and should be humiliated and should be held accountable, Kako. And that's why we make time when these issues come up. Yes, it may be redundant, but these 8 new, every new one that comes out should be empowered, should be respected, and should have its opportunity. And not just because we heard the same molestation, we should be used to it. We are not going to be used to it. We're not going to tolerate it, and we're not going to make it the new norm. And so with that being said, homework.
It's just like the injustice as we face as Hawaiians since the illegal overthrow, all the different episodes that have happened since then. All our kupuna who gave their lives, whose lives were taken from them, whose lands and resources were usurped or stolen or destroyed, like systematically, but also blatantly in some cases, right? And you know, a situation like this where somebody who's the head psychologist of Kamehameha schools, a non-Hawaiian, right? Dr. Brown, I believe, he's in that position for 50 years. So
50.
when you think about the amount of people that might have been affected by that, you know, it's like that 60,000 tickets, right? It's beyond comprehension. It's like, why are we doing this to ourselves, right? And there's no real path to bring justice on these injustices, right? Just like the overthrow, you know. So until we are gonna take the injustice serious, right, and fight for the justice, whether it's Black Lives Matter, whether it's the illegal occupation of the Hawaiian Kingdom, whether it's Kuleana land awardees and heirs being harassed and criminalized and basically driven through a genocidal system in order to survive, in order to have the strength to fight for these things that belong to us. You know, it's such a sad story when you see the details like this, like in Kamehameha schools, where, you know, the house on the hill, you're supposed to have some protection up there, right? A couple gates you gotta pass through.
And that's why the heirs gotta wake up, because we need to be in manage of the trusts and not allow foreigners from different cultures and races to have access to our culture, to our history, to our funding, and to our freaking keikis. They should not have the privilege to be taking advantage of our names and our namesake, Kako. And with that being said, haole la Kuokoa na Kamehameha Ohana and all those Ohanas that are related, we need to wake up. We need to get back our trust. We need to arm it back from these individuals who have no kuleana to these issues. And we shouldn't be waiting in line for the Hawaii Supreme Court to verify who's the next trustee of our family's trust. So if you guys are the heirs out there, like Maele and all of those heirs out there, step forward with your genealogy. Step forward. It's time to take our place into proper management of our assets that is for the betterment of our keikis, not necessarily for the time of us, but for the time of our keikis. So our keikis have a better life than what is afforded and sending them to these ventures. Next up, homework. We've got, we'd like to give a shout out to Anake, Kalahui, right? Kalahui, Ohana, always puts out their information and along with Mauna Kea Hui, right? And so this is just mana'o that is great for the time that's happening. Kai Kahele is out in the capital with Brian Schatz and the rest of the American cronies pitching the destitute of our people. So this alert is for us, the heirs, beneficiaries. If you guys have access to him, senators, leaders, make your voice be heard.
Right.
This is not our kuleana to participate in the continued genocide. We are looking for reparations. We are looking for the injustice to be solved. We are looking for remedies. We are not looking to be Indians and take more nonprofit grants from those who are in need and in destitute and are actually assigned to. Those benefits are assigned, those nonprofits are assigned to Americans, Indians, and those who qualify. We qualify for our heirs, our trusts, yes, all of that. And that's why this Heva alert brings those things to our attention during La Kuokoa.
Right.
This is for our national inherent rights over our national lands, our national identity, and our national treasure. And that's why today we want you guys, if you guys do have that contact, reach out, write out, make sure Kai gets the message, make sure your leaders in your community spread the right message.
So I think they have a form that you can sign on to, right? Kind of like a protest.
Yeah.
That must be on the Kalahui Hawaii Political Action Committee website, or
Yes.
Kalahui Hawaii on
Go check it out.
Facebook. Also, but this actually comes to us from the Mauna Kea Moku Nui Ailike Consensus Building, Ohana.
Yes.
Yes, so that gang that's getting together and doing the work,
Right.
pounding the pavement right now, making sure that these new leases aren't streamlined
Yes.
by the new boys in the old boy club, right?
Right.
You're not getting a new little pat on the back and show you how to shake the hand. And
And
this
there-
is how we give Uncle Sam what he needs.
And
right?
there's an Ailike meeting, right? There's an Ailike meeting
Ole
soon.
loa.
And I think we're going to try and keep that up. We're going to post
Yeah.
it. I think
We'll
they're going
keep
to
you
have a
guys
live
posted.
Ailike meeting.
Oh,
and
nice.
that's why we brought this to you in La Kuokoa,
Right.
to show you that there is an engagement on Moko Ke'ave.
Definitely.
That's not just by the non-profit tiers.
Right, and the
those-
propaganda machines and
Right.
all these little sweetheart and freaking
And they're allowing you
collaborators.
guys, Kako, they're allowing you guys, the Ailike is allowing you to come to this meeting where a lot of people don't want you to hear about meetings.
Yep.
So take it for what it is. When people allow you to come halavai
Right.
during this COVID, this means transparency.
Aye.
So join the transparency.
Join the
Join
conversation.
the conversation. If you live on different islands and you feel like you're not connected because you're not here, the Ailike is reaching out and allowing this conversation to become
This is big.
open. This is big.
This is big because the leases are supposed to come
This is
up,
big.
I think, in 2029, right? There might be another one in 2032, and they also have Hawaiian homelands that they're on as well,
Yep.
right? And so they're trying to figure out a way to bypass doing due process.
And it's the heirs.
Bypass dealing with Kanaka and the real heirs. They want to get the signed, sealed, delivered so they can just stamp them and put the headlines out. New lease, new expansion, Hawaii's safe again from terrorism or whatever the hell they're trying to say, right? While they continue to destroy the heartlands of Hawaii on Pohakuloa and all the other sacred places around the Pai'aina. That's what they're doing. The most installations in the world are right here in Hawaii by the U.S. military. They are occupying our lands. They are not making us safe. They make us a target and dependent on the facade of the United Snakes.
Yeah.
So Heva alert, smash on these fools.
So,
Get your kawila ready.
Kako.
One more on the chopping block.
One more on the chopping block. We always want to try and end it on a great note, which we always do. And today, we just wanted to give a shout out to, once again, Kawaula, right? Because this comes off of basically the Maui news, right? They actually talk about the highways.
The highways, yeah.
The highways and byways, Kako. So, if you've been following
solo.
us,
Okay.
right, the 1892 public roads, crown and government lands,
Yes.
belongs to the crown and government. And
all
with
trails,
all trails,
historic trails,
all anuis,
all historic roadways.
right. So let's not be
belong
saying that the
to
cops own it,
Nakanaka.
or let's just not say or an individual
Or
own
the
it.
state of
or
Hawaii
the state.
is
This
somehow
is
right.
your kuleana, the Alanui.
Ah.
The kuleana of the Alanui,
And
right?
even the state acknowledges
And the
it,
state
right?
acknowledges. So when you see Anakala Keamoku Kapu guys and the Kupuna who knew the law, knew that they couldn't just build around the EVs, knew that the highways and byways were part of the original contracts of the kingdom. And they were kingdom heirs because of the Kuleana Awards. So if you just connect the dots and you see how Uncle Keamoku Kapu guys reach out to Pajimola, Ka'ale. When you reach out to these family members, this is the tools that they know. These are the tools that we need to know. And these are the tools that help them accomplish what you guys are seeing. You guys are seeing some trials and errors. It's because people think that we forgot. Or people think that you don't have the laws that which are consistent. And now that you see that the Kanakas are home, because they know who they are, they actually have the laws that allow them the access to go to and from their homes and to where they need to be. And the adventure comes clear.
Yeah.
You can get home and go home and do whatever you need to do without fear of getting tickets. And so mahalo again for the public roads and legacies that must be protected article that the Maui had written up about a week or so ago. It just verifies that the states, the counties, the gig is up.
The gig is up,
Haoli la
alright.
Kuokoa.
Buggers.
Manage the ala nui, kako. Go home, manage the ala nui. Make sure the roads are always safe. Mamaloha kanavai. Yeah, make sure those roads are safe for your kids and your grandparents to travel down. That's our kuleana, and that's the haoli la Kuokoa. Passing with solution and styling. Protect the highways and
You know,
byways.
all these
Act.
things, they're all connected, right? All these laws,
Yeah.
all these stories, these mo'olelo, where we come from as Kanaka, you know. And when we look at the laws, you know, we look at the laws that Lili'u was able to pass, and then we look at its relevance to our history, to our time even now with Makahiki, and with what we're attempting to do, bring back the old ways, bring back the pathway of our
natural way.
kupuna, cut down the trail that's been overgrown and poisoned by the
Yeah.
fake state and taken over and chained up and gated, right? And set with booby traps all along the way with doo-doo leaking out the side.
Right.
Right? We're trying to get back just to the path of our kupuna so that we can do the
Yeah.
practice. So we can bring the integrity of who we are, the mana of who we are, to where they need to go. This ahupua'a, this sacred site, this kuleana land, this alo'ikalo, this kihapai, right? Because we get plenty work for do right now, gang.
Plenty work.
We get plenty work for do, and we got to throw everybody on the bandwagon with us, guys.
Well, that's what we had to
Lono
do
in
today.
the front.
Lono,
And
Ku in the back.
everybody in the back, jump on, baby. We're gonna get there together. And just like the Va'a Peleleo, of the fleet of Va'as from here to Maui,
Yeah.
when the first one arriving on Maui, the last one is leaving Hawaii Island, the ocean is filled with Va'a. That is the kind of traveling, that is the abundance, that is the ho'i ho'i ea, that is the ku'oko'a that we need as Kanaka in order to properly manage our pai aina. Yeah, and the laws are there. The framework is there. The mana is within us. Right? Our kupuna gave us the guidance. So let's listen up.
This is the last
Listen up, baby. Woo.
Okay, Kako. So, wrapping it up with the
okay.
constitutional
Yeah,
oath breaker of the
this is
week,
good.
right?
Yeah, get
Before
the
we
lahi
out of
going.
here. And you got up. So, what you got for your constitutional oath breaker of the week? So, the constitutional oath breaker for me this week, you know, it has to go to the 60K club, man.
Oh, yeah.
Without the 60K, you would have
Love
thought
that.
that 24K was hot, 24K magic, right? But these guys got 60K magic. And the constitutional breaker goes to the unspent, the untallied number. So remember, mine's one was they got about a few thousand for $500,000 or so on Mauna Kea Access Road. So with a 60K ticket, you give me the constitutional oath breaker.
Oh, I got to give it to the cat in the hat.
Right.
You know, David Ige, the
a
top of the
knucklehead.
pyramid. You know, basically, they making the boys in blue look bad, if you ask me, because these guys is trying to do their job. They're giving out 60,000 tickets, right? They trying to, you know, they trying to take care of our communities, but they got so much bull crap, red tape to get through that they actually are trying to cover their okole. You know what I mean? When the heat gets hot. So for that I gotta hit the top of the head. I gotta hit the gopher at the top.
Right.
Yeah.
Shopo.
And well, David Ige, right? Because what he does, it makes all these other guys scramble to figure out how to cover their okole, right? So all of the fake state corruptions, I gotta hand it to the cat in the hat, baby.
Okay.
David Ige, the dung beetle.
And the dung beetle, right? The David the dung beetle.
Diggity.
And when it all
Alright.
comes down to it, we hit the kanikapu as we give the rapid aloha
Yes.
for this week. Haole la Kuokoa. Let's go.
Kuokoa. As you know, you can see our high Hawaii, the right side up today. Pretty much one of the only days you'll see it flying the right way with us, because we are acknowledging the fact that we are under an illegal prolonged military occupation. And we can celebrate these days and these historic moments, right? But we also have to use the momentum to carry the load, right?
And so my
to
rapid
shine
aloha,
the light on the dark side.
I gotta give it up. My
Oh.
first rapid aloha.
Okay.
Ma'ele Helu 1975. Mahalo cousin Ka'ale for reaching out, for inspiring, sharing the journey on the Ala Nui, how you walked it, how you malamed it,
Right.
and now you're back home.
Being a living example.
Living example.
Of
So
Ola
this
Naivi.
one is for you,
Right.
cousin Ma'ele and the
Whoa.
Ohana Royal Patent 1975 out in Kukui Opai Live. Next up, who you got?
Well, you know, bite the eye. We gotta wait till next week for some of the fresh fish. But you know, shout out to all the Kanakas out there, you know, making their mea eye this week, celebrating. You know, whether it's the imu or the i'a or the ava or all the goodies, right? Just make sure you're not eating all that fluffy bull crap that's out there too. The Hawaiian cupcakes and all their marshmallows, fillings, and their artificial sweeteners and all of that too, right? You gotta watch out, guys. We don't want to fall into the same trap that got us trapped, right? We don't want to take off the chain and say, hey, I like this shiny chain. It says Kanaka Gold on it, right? Hell no. Take that system of oppression, break that yoke, get back to the freaking Aina, get back to the source, get back to the truth. And don't be shucking and jiving and telling me how to shuck and jive along the way, baby. What's up?
What's up? And here you go, Kako.
Right.
Thank you guys,
back
Lahui.
around, back to the
Thank you, Lahui, for always tuning in,
Alright.
checking us out, keeping it connected.
Alright.
And shout out to the Ohanas out in Kawaula, right? Continue to hold it down, continue to do what they do for our kupuna, for our keikis, and our legacy.
Yes.
With that being
All
said,
of this should inspire you guys to get back to your Aina, get back to your Kuleana, know your genealogy, right? And if you don't know, then you better fucking ask somebody. You better get connected,
Yes.
right? And you better link in with the people who are doing it, who are carrying the load, who need the help, even if they don't ask, right? Like, even if they're not asking for help, there's Kanakas out there slaving away, trying to change this paradigm. Don't bullshit the bullhorn, because it's coming for that okole.
haoli la kuokoa, Ohana, and continue to bang.
Yes.
Let's go. Aloha. Ku aloha aina.
Love you guys.